Good morning. Time now is 11:03. Thank you for joining me for this digital weather now forecast through these about 11 a.m. or so, just about every weekday. Another one coming up with the rest of the team, meteorologist Jamie Ertel at 9 p.m. A bit of a change, not necessarily to the forecast, but what we're talking about here compared to this morning, what you may have watched the news at daybreak. Also alerts in your WTOC weather app today is a first alert weather day now. And that doesn't mean that the forecast has necessarily changed, but all the ingredients, we're more confident in all these ingredients being there in place to produce what could be a pretty heavy rain event for a portion of the coastal empire and the low country. I know right off the bat here, folks want to know when, where, and how much. Got to stress, can't stress this enough actually, that there is still quite a bit of uncertainty in the forecast. We have already seen some showers and some thunderstorms out there this morning, some of those producing some very heavy rain. And live outside right now, though, nothing too significant going on. WTOC Barrel House South Tybee Island Skycam. We are outside and taking a look at a lot of beachgoers out there, a filtered sunshine, some clouds out there now, towering clouds offshore. But let's take you a little earlier and a little further up the coast, and we have a view of an apparent waterspout from 278. Now, this is on my Twitter page at Cutter Martin. You can see the mouse pointing over that apparent waterspout. Again, we don't have confirmation on this, but we did relate to the Weather Service. They did confirm it via radar. But a likely waterspout. This person, Amy Broom, was going on 278 eastbound onto Hilton Head Island, just over the second bridge, looking to the right. So that would be towards Calabogie Sound, kind of the opening there on the south end of Hilton Head Island. Likely a waterspout. We do tend to see that from time to time in this weather setup, and I can't rule out more going deeper into the afternoon. But that is not why we have declared today a first alert weather day. I want to talk about some of the data that we are looking at and why we have kind of tightened in that focus specifically on this afternoon, the early evening, going until maybe 8, 9, 10 o'clock this evening. I think that rain, again, if you want to know why today is now first alert weather day, number one, rain is going to be more widespread, the heavy rain, than the past few days. It will be just as heavy, if not a little bit heavier. And here's the real wild card here. Rain has the potential to sit over the same areas and really train, is what we call it, for quite a bit of time. So not only, do you get a heavy downpour and some minor street flooding, but maybe some more significant street flooding, well over the curbs and stuff in a couple of spots, because rain just keeps redeveloping over the same area, soaking the same neighborhoods. And that's certainly a potential this afternoon and this evening. I'm going to go ahead, put radar in looping motion. I'm going to switch it over to a more sensitive mode so you can see exactly what's going on. We have a specific storm system causing the increase in the likelihood of heavy rain today. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, go into the WTOC TV Facebook page. Also going to check out WTOC 11 on Twitter. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask those on social media. If you're watching on Roku, Amazon Fire, YouTube, News app, Weather app, thank you. And if you have any questions, you too can navigate over to our social media accounts, and I would be more than happy to ask any questions, answer any questions that you may have, and at least to the best of my ability, give you a specific forecast, if at all possible. All right, reading the questions now. Let's see. Naeem, watching from Savannah, thank you for watching. Tiffany says, bring it on after I grocery shop. Tiffany, I'm right there with you. I suggest you go out here shortly. Let's get it out of the way early, because this afternoon looks increasingly stormy. Terry down in Jessup, hello to you. Hello to Brandy. Tanya, hello in Little Wissy. Good morning, Tanya, as well. Paula, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Amanda, hello there as well. Debbie, happy Thursday, Missy. And Tanya wants to know when she can do some yard work. I'd say today's a no-go unless you can get it done here next hour or so already. Some rain wrapping in on Safe Touch Security First Alert Live Radar. And I talk about training thunderstorms redeveloping and producing heavy rain over and over and over again over the same neighborhoods. And we can see this. It's not a problem in our area, but look what's going on up to our north. I-26, Charleston, Somerville, St. George, Orangeburg. This band has been sitting over here for about an hour producing heavy rain in the exact same spots, and it isn't moving very much. And it's possible we could see similar rain bands develop across our area later this afternoon and this evening. So a lot of times if you have heavy rain, it's not a significant problem because eventually, pretty quickly this time of year, it stops. The water quickly drains. But if you keep having heavy rain over the same area for a more extended period of time, you're more likely to have street flooding and a really slow slow down travel out there. So we're watching for that possibility today. We're going to be putting out some videos in the WTOC News app. Already one there talking about today's storm threats and the hour-by-hour forecast trends through the day. And Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley, Meteorologist Jamie Ertel, and Meteorologist Andrew Gorton out here today. We're all updating our social media accounts, and we'll be keeping you updated throughout the afternoon and the evening. Paula wants to know what the weather's going to be like around 3 in Savannah, Garden City. I would say plan on rain, plan on wet roadways around 3 in that area. Sandra says light rain in South Guyton already. Yep, and there's more on the way, especially this afternoon and through the early evening hours. Erica says strong storms, any chance of tornadic activity or just heavy rain. I can break this down for you right now. Also letting you know, one of the videos I posted in the news app or the weather app, so if you don't already have it, please download the WTOC weather app. Really a good resource, and it's free. I did put out a video explaining the risks that we had with today's thunderstorms, and heavy rain is certainly the greatest one, most likely. You know, we can guarantee heavy rain under nearly every thunderstorm, and I can guarantee a few spots we'll see street flooding today. It's just about nailing down exactly when and where. It is, you know, we can't really do that at this point until the rain really develops. So it's the kind of day where you just, check back every now and then, especially if you're about to leave to head home for your evening commute or so. But the risk of gusty winds, small hail, and tornadoes, it's bottom of the scale, very low. Cannot rule out some gusty winds, 40, 50. Enough to snap some limbs, enough to knock out power in very isolated locations. So let's say we have 20 storms today overall. I think 1 or 2 may produce gusty winds. The rest of us are just going to get a ton of lightning and very heavy rain with the storms, and the rest, even more of us, pretty much everybody today, getting some sort of rainfall, enough to wet the concrete, enough to keep things soggy, but some of us are going to see heavy rain. Now, let's go through the hour-by-hour forecast. Before I get to a forecast model kind of breaking down radar trends through the day, what it may look like through the day, I want to talk about the cause of the increase in the risk of heavy rain. So this is radar. This is not a forecast model. So what's actually happening right now, area of low pressure off to our south and west. Notice how rain and storms here, Baxley, Coffee, Jeff Davis counties, Douglas, Hazelhurst over to Vidalia. Notice how this rain isn't moving that much, kind of shifting west. Notice how this band up here, I-26 Charleston, on Safe Touch Security First Alert Live radar is not moving much, but trying to build south. And notice how this cluster of rain and scattered downpours moving kind of north and east and north, building up I-95 and up the coast. That is counterclockwise flow. I'm just kind of waving my hand around. You can kind of see that here. We have an area of low pressure off to our south and west today, kind of putting an overlay over the radar to help you visualize what's going on here. We have an area of low pressure south and west, bringing in a plentiful moisture. I mean, we have truly tropical moisture. I use this analogy from time to time. The sponge is absolutely full. We've held it under the sink. Mother Nature has. Our atmosphere is full of moisture. It can't hold anymore. And this is going to wring the sponge and absolutely squeeze every little bit of moisture out of the atmosphere today that we have. You have that set up alone can produce heavy rain. And the fact that this guy isn't moving very much, we're going to have bands of rain kind of sit over the same areas for an extended period of time, really ramping up rainfall totals, and grounds are now kind of wet from all the rain we have had over the past couple of weeks. So there's not that much room to play with here. It's going to run off very quickly and could rise creeks, bayous, and in the streets themselves to an extent later today, this afternoon, and this evening. Now, not everywhere. Not everyone's going to get a deluge today. Not everyone is going to see street flooding, but the risk for it is greater today than it has been for the past few days. That is why today is a first alert weather day. Anita, let's see. Thank you for watching. What are we looking at this afternoon, this evening in Statesboro? Let's go through our forecast model now. Again, what computers think will happen through the day. Of course, there is always some uncertainty here. But one thing we look at when showing you, kind of before showing you these computer models, is it starting or is it initializing, same thing there, correctly? Notice how it has this band of heavy rain pretty correctly. I-26 corridor, scattered showers and a few thunderstorms here, coastal Empire. Doing a pretty good job. It's done a pretty good job all morning. Watch what happens as we go into the afternoon. By 2, 3 o'clock, rain really ramps up here south and west of the city of Savannah. This is middle of the afternoon. Statesboro, rain in your area. I'm going to list out some of the communities that folks are asking about. Let's see. What about Bluffton? We're looking at a forecast model now. Townsend, Statesboro. So find your communities on this map And by 3, pretty much everybody has rain, at least within your area. Even if your neighborhood's not getting poured on, you're seeing the dark clouds, maybe sprinkles, you're probably hearing the thunder. So a lot of folks are going to at least have rain in their area by 1, 2 o'clock, if not by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then watch how the bands just keep going. You know, this is a little bit different than earlier, but we're still having bands. Again, not everyone seeing it, but those that are seeing it are really getting poured on, even more so than the past couple of days, by 7 o'clock this evening. And I'm going to show you another forecast model here in just a moment, but here's an idea for you going through 7 o'clock. And notice how overnight, tonight even, area of low pressure still spinning over here. And we're still continuing to see bands of heavy rain move in. Now, fine-tuning and pinpointing where exactly this heaviest rain falls, very difficult at this point, but I would just want to let you know all the ingredients are there across the entire area, coastal Empire, low country, to have scattered heavy downpours continuing later in the evening, perhaps early tomorrow morning, more so than what we had this morning. Now, another note here, sometimes these areas of low pressure like to misbehave at night a little bit when we have this tropical moisture in place, this little bit of spin in the atmosphere lifting some of that moisture. Sometimes they like to produce very, very heavy rain overnight. So that's another thing we're going to be watching out for, giving you a first alert about your morning commute tomorrow as well. Again, still expecting wet weather tomorrow, but right now not a first alert weather day. We're just talking about this afternoon, this evening, to really pay attention to the risk of street flooding and really heavy downpours, but we may need to carry that over a little bit longer into your Friday. So just something to keep in the back of your head and be alert to. So if you're just joining us, time now 11:14. Again, the severe weather risk is low today, but that heavy rain risk is very high, actually higher than it has been for the past few days, which is why today's the first alert weather day. We just want you to pay a little extra attention to the weather. We've had street flooding in spots nearly every afternoon. The chance of that occurring and maybe being a little bit more widespread, is a little bit higher today. Okay, so different map, different forecast model. Let's see what questions are coming in. Good morning, Helen. Hilton Head, Linda, you have downpours. You're going to have more today. I can guarantee you're going to get more rain this afternoon. Misty, best way to get to the grocery store, best way to get Misty. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what grocery store. I don't know where you're posting from, where you're going. But I can't give you an exact route. I would say if you have to go this afternoon, just check radar and the typical spots: Victory, Henry. Those two areas they tend to take on water. Benton Boulevard and Pooler tends to take on water in the heavier rains. Just try to avoid those areas if they're seeing rain. There is a chance we could luck out here and the heaviest rain falls over areas that drain very well. I should say heaviest rain falls over the areas that drain really well. And that would be really awesome. You're welcome, Kim. Thank you for watching, Paula. For the banana game, Robin, it's going to be very touch and go. I think it's going to be more likely than not there will be rain impacts. So you go ahead and plan, on maybe there being issues as far as the weather is concerned for the Bananas game. Not exactly sure exactly where these bands set up this evening, but I would say there's a chance definitely that there will be impacts to it. Okay, so let's go through this different forecast model. This one too doing pretty well. Scattered downpours developing here, coastal Empire south of I-16. Band of heavy rain, Beaufort County, I-26, Charleston Metro. That is now. So it's starting out well. It's initializing well. It's kind of like when you start to do a math problem, and if you make a mistake early in the math problem, you're going to have a big old mistake at the bottom when you're done. Well, think about this as a math problem. If you begin correctly, then hopefully the end solution, the end result will be correct as well. So it's kind of a way to think about it when we show you these computer models. Doing a pretty good job so far. And watch how this really flares up rain. Hilton Head, Tybee, Townsend, Sapelo, St. Simons, Screven, Hinesville, Townsend, Waycross, Nahunta. Pretty much everybody has rain in your general area if it's not actually pouring in your backyard at your house. Going deeper into the evening, 7 o'clock. A lot of light to moderate rain, still some embedded heavy downpours, a little more scattered by that point, but we're still dealing with rain on first alert radar by 7 o'clock this evening. And watch, this is kind of interesting. Again, midnight, 12:30, they want to flare this up again. Bands of heavy rain moving in from the beaches and possibly some scattered stuff inland because, like I said a few moments ago, if you weren't watching, sometimes these areas of low pressure, they like to misbehave a little bit at night and really dump a ton of rain when there's a lot of moisture in place over the area. So So that's just a potential we're watching right now. But I would just plan on rain lasting a little bit longer. Just go and bank on it through date night tonight, maybe. Rain lasting longer than it did last night and the night before last and the night before that. So we're starting earlier with the rain. We're ending later with the rain. And the rain's going to be a little more widespread, a little bit heavier today versus the past couple of days. Mark wants to know, how tall does a cloud have to be for it to rain? It depends. You know, you're going to have clouds less than 10, 20,000 feet produce rain, and some of the taller thunderstorm clouds, 50, 60,000 feet up in the sky, the tops of those clouds. So it just depends. In a tropical setup, they don't need to be all that tall when there's a lot of moisture in order to get rain. So it just kind of depends on where you are, what part of the country, what the weather setup is like in your area. No, Jeff, it's not scary. This isn't scary. It's just showers and thunderstorms. They're going to produce heavy rain, though. You know, we have a lot of people. It's a Thursday. People go to work. Obviously, not everyone has, the summer off. They go to work Monday through Friday. And the evening commutes have been absolutely messy here, really annoying, to be honest, being a commuter myself the past few days. And today has the potential to be a little extra annoying. So the point of this First Alert Weather Day is simply to let you know we're watching it for you, but we also want you to be aware of it and be aware that we're going to be giving you even more information than normal here in your weather app, WTOC.com, during the newscast. But we're not expecting widespread severe weather, but we are expecting some absolute downpours. Beaufort can attest to this. It was annoying getting to work or your destination this morning. We had street flooding in Beaufort. It was absolutely pouring there in Beaufort County. So they know what this atmosphere is certainly capable of producing, and we'll probably see a little bit more of that this afternoon and this evening. Thank you for watching, India. But again, Jeff, no reason to be scared today. I'm not trying to make this sound scary, but we're just letting you know weather's gonna impact your day a little bit more than it even has been for the past few days, and that's all that we're trying to pass along here. So hopefully that kind of makes a little bit sense there. Courtney Johnson, Wilmington Island, yes, I would plan on rain today. Jeff, can you go fishing? I actually did a fishing forecast this morning on The News at Daybreak. Maybe you missed it. I'll forgive you. Just hang on for me 1 second. Here we are, fishing forecast. Impacts today, plan on rain, heavy rain, lightning this afternoon. To put this casually, it ain't going to be the best day for fishing. If you got out this morning, a little bit better. Maybe if you get out tomorrow morning around sunrise, hopefully that rain pushing up into the Charleston metro by then out of our area, so maybe a little better tomorrow morning, but not the best afternoon, evening for fishing. Rain is rain. It's fine. Light, moderate rain, fishing sometimes better. But the kind of torrential downpours, the lightning and stuff we may see, not the best day for fishing. So just, keep that in mind. And Tanya, good advice there. Kelly, what about Newington? Regards to you as well up in the Netherlands. Thank you for watching. Rhea, Statesboro. Folks, I'm going to make this nice and simple. Everyone watching this in the Coastal Empire and Low Country, you have a very healthy chance of rain today. I can't tell you exactly if it's going to rain in your neighborhood. It could pour down on one part of Statesboro and you get a sprinkle. So it just depends. But I will say everyone needs to go ahead and plan on rain today. It's just simply one of those days that we're going to have a lot of rain around the area. Pretty much everybody sees some storminess, whether it's just thunder, lightning, clouds, and a little bit of rain. And then, a smaller group of people really get soaked and there's some street flooding. So that's the kind of setup we're watching today. Annette, again, you have a likely rain chance. Let's go back to live radar right now, and I'll kind of paint this out for you. I can't go, community by community. I wish, it's hard this time of year. I just can't tell you, not in this setup, exactly where it's going to rain and exactly when, but I will tell you today has the likely potential to be the wettest day of the work week, and you know how wet it has been since Monday, so that's a good frame of reference there. Baxley, Appling County, you've already had rain in northern Appling County today. You have showers around you right now. There's going to be more developing down near Dixie Union, Alma, Bristol, probably Jessup as well within the next couple of hours lifting northward. So I would bank on rain in just about every community to some extent today. Some folks seeing more than others, but I think the vast majority of us see some rain today versus the small group that sees nothing. So I would say plan on rain just to make it simple for you. Daniel says 100% chance of a nap today. It's still decent in the Savannah Metro right now. So we have rain in Chatham County. Some folks are getting quick little heavy showers, and there is rain building up from the south. So, you know, that dry time is quickly coming to an end here across the Savannah Metro and Low Country. But yeah, and someone says, Dave Logan, it's been like a monsoon season here in Midway. It's been a wet stretch of weather, even a little wetter today, even a little stormier today. So again, there is a risk of street flooding today, more so than the past couple of days. That's why we're passing along this information. And I'm actually going to talk about training thunderstorms. I'm working on creating a weather graphic, kind of an explainer for you all watching. And I'm going to be posting that to my Facebook page, WTOC Cutter Martin here, within the next 30 minutes, just depending on exactly where I get that done. It kind of explains what a training thunderstorm is and training rainfall, why it is more likely to see street flooding underneath that type of setup, and why we're more likely to see that today. So again, I'll be posting that on my page, WTOC Cutter Martin here, within the next 30 minutes or so. Hopefully that helps you out and kind of explains what's going on. Richard says, saw the old man gathering tubia. Referencing that. That's funny, Richard. Yeah, I mean, it's been wet. It's going to continue to be wet. We're just stuck in this pattern, and today, tomorrow, looking especially wet. Cynthia, you have a blessed and safe weekend as well. I've talked so much weather. Time now 11:23. We do have a chance of rain continuing through the weekend, but today, tomorrow, looking like the wettest days. Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley is already in the Weather Center. Going to be fine-tuning the forecast, looking over radar trends. Again, looking at what's going on now will help us predict your forecast going forward into the afternoon and the evening. So we're going to be on TV at noon with your normal newscast weather forecast. And wanted to let you know, if you're watching this stream, you're out of pocket, maybe at the office running errands, you're just pushing the cart through the supermarket because it's drier and better now to go to the store versus later today, you can get the forecast. You don't have to miss it just because you're out of the house. You can get recorded videos, what we were thinking earlier today. All of this still pretty much applies in the WTOC weather app, but also of use to you. We're letting you know what time to really watch for the heaviest rain, shaded in red. And you can watch a live forecast. Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley at noon coming up, breaking down the latest information. He'll be on TV in about 36 minutes right off the top of the newscast with a forecast update for you, and he and Jamie Ertl will be in this afternoon to walk you through what could be a slow and stormy evening commute. So go out, have an awesome day, go forth with your day, but we're just asking you to pay a little extra attention to the First Alert forecast.